You're a Leafs fan, though, and we all know it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not thrilled about the game tonight by any means, right? We all know what I'm going to say about the goals against. The reality is, though, some of the goals against Vancouver were the same thing. They were slipping up, too, defensively and stuff. So I'm telling you, it's the new NHL. It's not that I've ever been mad at the Leafs. Because as long as the Leafs are better at the new NHL than the other teams, then I'm fine with it. Right? But as a hockey fan in general, there's just something going wrong with it, and I think it's connected to the math, and I really do. I think once we started inspecting it with certain numbers and drawing certain conclusions that are not necessarily true, I believe the analytics have subconsciously steered the direction of the way hockey's being played, and it shouldn't. It should just be reporting what is going on. That's all. That's all. There's many ways to get the same result in hockey, and I feel like the people who are stuck focusing on all the analytics, you're missing out because you think that the analytics are showing us the way to success, and they're not. Anything can happen. All you're doing is reporting on what's happened already, which is good to know because now I can change it starting tomorrow, right? It's not to say we're going to keep doing what the analytics show as successful results. It's that now we know that that's the trend. We're going to buck the trend. We're going to get ahead of the curve. If we know what's popular and what's working for other people, we can figure out how to defeat it, not how to do it better. They're already doing that style. That team, those teams that are succeeding in the current analytics, great. That's great. So we want to be the team that figures out how to take that out, not be better at that than them. Otherwise, you have 32 teams playing the same style. And look at everybody's power play these days. Look at everybody's power play. It's the same thing. 3 across, 2 on the top. It's a big division sign. That's it. Ooh, scary. They all do it. They all do it. So, you know what I mean? You can't use analytics to guide the direction of a team other than to show you what's already out there. That's all. And that is valuable. That is very valuable. So that's why I'm not taking a dump on that whole, field of expertise. I think it's important. Analytics are awesome. But they're drawing way too many conclusions. They need to shut their mouths and figure out how to beat the system, not cater to it, not feed into it. That just leads you into a cycle of just the same old stuff again and again and again, right? The best teams are the ones that stand out. They find a way to stand out. Look, see, this is what I'm saying. I'm not buying that humans can't spot the game better than the analytics. I'm not buying it because the only difference between analytical minds and people just watching the game for fun is that we're not writing our things down. That's it. That is it. That is the only difference. Your eye, if you've been watching this game as long as I have, and longer, and even sooner for a lot of people that really pick it up quick, probably quicker than me, really smart people watching the game, all right, you're going to see patterns to this thing. And when your eye has seen it enough, as the play is going down from above, we have a good idea of what's about to happen next. You know what I mean? Generalized terms, of course. But you can see a play unfolding before your eyes, and you get very good at predicting what's going to happen next based on what's going on the ice. So does that mean that we're smarter than the players on the ice? No. No, we have the best view while the game is going on. We have the best possible views to see what's happening. They don't have that view. You know what I mean? If they did, they would probably kick way more butt than they do. Every hockey player. A bird's eye view at all times of who's around you and all that stuff, like, you know what I mean? Our brains and our eyes don't work like that. So, you know, they're just doing the best that they can on the ice. That's a really hard thing to do. But it doesn't mean that our eyes are missing something. We just don't write it down. Whereas the analytics guys are like, goal against, expected shot, turnover, you know what I mean? Everything else. It happened at 5v5. It happened in the offensive zone. That's turnover. So that's an offensive turnover. Like they're just coming up with categories and writing things down. And then they're seeing what happens more often. Cool. But you know what? Our eyes are doing that all the time. We're just not writing it down. That's all. Do you understand? So when you ask me about a specific game afterwards, you're like, well, what happened in that 10-7 Detroit game? I don't remember now. I didn't write it down. But luckily, a guy like me, I've been videotaping them. So go back and look at it. And I guarantee you I had some good things to say about it because I know what I'm talking about. And so do a lot of you people in the chat. I'm not alone in this, guys. I'm not being loud and cocky. I'm being truthful with the fact that so many fans out there, we know what's going on. We're not idiots. What separates us from the pros is that the pros are responsible for winning. That's all. You know what I mean? I don't know how to take on that pressure. I'm not that kind of guy. I wasn't cut out for it. You know what I mean? That wasn't for me. Right? But I'm not dumber than they are. It's just they're better at executing. Half these NHL players, I mean, come on. They know what's wrong before we're even saying it. They know what's wrong in the game. They're experiencing it. They're living it. So I've made it very clear that when I break down games and when I talk about what's going on in the NHL and stuff, that I'm doing it with the utmost respect for the players and the coaches and all that stuff. Because the reality is, as smart as I am, they're smart under pressure. And that's something I've never experienced. And until I do, I have no right judging them and doing things like calling for people's jobs, demanding we trade people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do that. I talk about maybe who might get traded, or if I was GM, who I would think to move. But that's not personal either. I'm just playing a little game, right? So are you. That's the fun of sports. But I would never demand a player be traded, right? At least anymore. I probably would have back in the day, but I've changed, and so can you. All right? I don't demand people get traded. I don't demand people get fired. I'm in favor of whoever's on board right now. Let's make it work. I'd rather just make it work, you know? So that's the difference between my channel and a lot of others. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. We report, sure. We have opinions, yes. But we're not here to tear people apart, all right? And call people, you know what I mean? Say that people are struggling just because some numbers point us in that direction. We're gonna look at the player. We're gonna find out what's going on, because you're right. Eye test. All right? Eye test. If you want, we'll write it down for you guys in the analytics department, okay? We're just not gonna use math. We're just gonna write it down. You know what I mean? Matthews had a few goals tonight. Done. I mean, we'll write more, but you know what I mean? Like, that's something that's how we will write it. We'll write it down. I'll write it down on my little notepad here. I'll show you. Okay? Oh, this is a time where the Leafs played poor defensively. This is a time where they did not. Well, you know what I mean? They actually did well. We'll write it down too, man. We'll write it down too, okay? Because that's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. In very, very complicated ways, and I don't mean to disrespect the level of understanding of math that you need to do to calculate some of these formulas. What you're doing is just reporting, man. You know what I mean? You're just writing it down. That's all. And our eyes have been doing that for years in our brains. Gretzky was awesome at reading the ice. How much Gretzky footage have I seen? I know the guy now. You know what I mean? I know what he played like. And I love it. He was so smart. I don't need you to show me 28 different numbers to tell me that Gretzky read the ice better than anyone has ever read it before him. All right? That's it. I can see it. I can see him looking. I can see his face looking at places where he ended up. You know what I mean? So, yeah. We've been writing it down up here, man. It's just, you know, you can't remember it at all times. And that's what I love about actually writing it down. So, muted again. Can you imagine if I'd gone this long? It's been like half an hour. Imagine if I'd gone half an hour and nobody told me they couldn't hear me. That'd be so bad. I'd be like, what's wrong with you guys? You know what I mean? To sit there and actually comment for half an hour and you can't even hear me? Trade the Leafs fan base and use Nylander, Hall, and someone else as bait. Can we trade fan bases, please? I want Nashville's. I want Nashville's fan base so much. Oh, God. They let loose. They go crazy. Yeah, we still can't hear me, by the way. Yeah, very funny, AKZ. Anyways. Well, that's about it, guys. That's about all I got, I think. All right. Is he actually going to check? I always do. When you say it, I still checked. And I see my little voice bar moving up and down. So I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. I did turn it on. I did turn it on. But yes, I actually check every single time you say it. I'm sometimes more subtle about it, and you might not notice. But anytime somebody says they can't hear me, I immediately check out of paranoia because I've done it too many times. So thanks for following along here, joining us in the adventure here, Manny. Make sure to hit that follow button, man. Why not? Have some fun. Sets off a cool little alert. But yeah, you know what I mean? Everybody, cheers. Thanks for hanging out. We got an intense week coming up. Gonna be a lot of games. So watch out, join me here after each and every one, okay? Sound good? Peace, guys.